So we're now a full week into the government shutdown here in the United States, and it does not look like it's going to be ending anytime soon. Here we have a map of where the FAA is saying that there are risks of flight delays and other kinds of traffic disruptions due to flight air traffic controllers and TSA agents potentially walking out of their job because they're not being paid. Obviously, Chicago, Boston, and Newark are some of the biggest airports whenever it comes to international and domestic travel. These are major national hubs, so that's a concern. And at the same time, President Trump had a meeting with Mark Carney, the president of Canada, and he answered some questions about the government shutdown. And some of his answers were a little interesting. Of course, this morning, Mike Johnson said in an interview that there might be a chance that federal workers will not receive back pay that are working during the shutdown. Here, Trump basically says that that may not be the case, that these workers are going to be paid. But then he implies that some employees will not be taken care of, and he kind of more leans to they will be fired, which kind of is back to some of the messaging that he's given in the past. In fact, he says that some of the firings will begin in the next several days, which he said that a few days ago, but anyway, I digress. One of the other kind of more funny things he said is that the Democrats have no leader. He said that they're like Somalia, except Somalia has a president, and then he said that he met the president. The way he just kind of like goes into these little side lanes of like thought, it's just so funny to me. Yeah, government shutdown, pretty bad, pretty bad. Hate to see it. I also hate to see this kickoff rule. Pretty bad, pretty nasty. Of course, another big concern has been food stamps and other kinds of more social, food programs for the most poor in the United States. Here is the White House spokeswoman, Caroline Leavitt, saying that WIC will continue funding from tariff revenue, basically blaming Democrats for it being under threat at all. And of course, like at the heart of this whole shutdown, at least according to Democrats, is about ACA tax credits for Obamacare. For Republicans, it's about health care for illegal immigrants. Now, the Democrats say that this has nothing to do with illegal immigrants, and Republicans have not offered any kind of rebuttal whenever it comes to ACA tax credits, which would really keep down health premiums, especially as we head into open enrollment here in the mid part of this month. Of course, people having to spend, a 200, 300% increase on their health insurance premiums is going to be a disaster economically. A lot of people are going to just not get health insurance. Meanwhile, the House remains in recess and has been basically since the shutdown began. So it's like both parties are still kind of talking past one another, while a lot of members of Congress are not even in Washington right now. Overall, it's just a really bad look for everybody involved, but especially for Republicans who control both sides of Congress and the White House and who are not really offering any major rebuttals to a lot of the Democratic priorities. Meanwhile, they're all getting paid, and our troops and, federal workers are not getting paid.